Now that's a beautiful sight. Got the Prelude, got the Focus. Yeah, baby. That is a beautiful sight. The CRV right now is parked at my buddy's house, so that way I don't have too many cars at my apartment, but that right there is back. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, Project Flip. It's your boy Joe, back in action here for you with another update here for y'all today. As you can tell, the Focus is back. So there's been a couple issues with it, and I'll get into detail with that here in just a moment. I'm just happy that I got my daily runner back, so that way I can be able to use this as my daily, start getting the Prelude set up a little bit more power. Right now I got the Prelude on E85 and that's running smooth. We got my field pressure regulator. Tomorrow I am going to put my 340 pump in there because I finally found it again. I lost it the first time and now I found it. Then what we're gonna do is I gotta change that intake manifold gasket because that's been an issue and I'm tired of the idle surging. So let's go ahead and jump into it and I'll explain to y'all what's going on. So first things first, as you can see right now, I got my door panel pulled off, and the reason for that is, by the way, it's back here in my back seat. Oh, it's hiding. The reason for that is this latch mechanism right here got stuck. So, and my door was closed, so even though it was unlocked, this was not unlocking off the body. So I was trying to get it off as much as possible because it's a little difficult to be able to get this door panel off while it's on the car, because you got several screws. I was able to get like the top half, but I couldn't get the bottom bolts out because it was covered up, and the side bolts because it was closed. But I tested everything. The lock actuator works, as you can hear. Let's see. So lock actuator works for the key fob. This works as well, and the external handle works. So I was thinking that something broke on the inside in here. I don't know if you can see it. Sorry, I don't have like a low aperture lens. My aperture goes as low as about, or my f-stop, I'm sorry. My f-stop goes down as low as about 3.5. So apologize, you can't really see in there too much, and I don't have a flashlight on me. So I was rolling around for a few days once I got this back up and running, literally climbing out the window because it was locked. Like, it wasn't locked, but it was stuck. So even if you pulled the cable or opened it from the outside, the door wouldn't budge. So I was trying to get ready to go to my boy's shop. I actually went to his shop when I got out of work, and I rolled down the window. I was like, all right, let me just Dukes of Hazzard it real quick, you know, jump out the window. And the door decides to swing open with me sitting on it. So I'm literally sitting on the perch right here, butt hanging out right here, you know what I'm saying, upper body up here. And it literally just swung open with me on the door. I almost bit it hard. It was a pretty funny sight, but I was happy the door opened. So that's when I was able to test everything, and I just lubed this up pretty good, so it's been working. So now I can close the door, open the door. I've been just having it off for a few days in case there's any issues. I haven't put the panel back on. That way I can access the inside of the door panel. Now, jumping over here, the reason why I haven't had the Focus for a while is because I thought there was more of a bigger issue in place, and so I had it stored at my buddy's crib for like the last 6-7 months. finally comes down to it. He gets like a little head gasket tester that checks the combustion if it's seeping into the coolant system. So it's like a little tube that you would just attach up here. You pour some specific liquid that it comes with in it. It's like a color changing liquid. I don't really know what it's called. So, but you take off the cap, you have the tube sitting in here, and then you take the top line and you link it to a vacuum port. So what I did is I just linked it to the vacuum port right here. So that way it had vacuum, it can test everything. The car didn't cut off or do anything weird. But you would literally sit it on there, and as the engine's running, it would change color if it detected any kind of leak in combustion coming from the head. So this will tell you, it won't tell you if your cylinder head's cracked or anything, but it will detect a blown head gasket by changing its color. If the cylinder head is cracked, it'll change its color. So it will pretty much detect the head issue. I let it run for like 30 minutes. Nothing happened. Now, before I parked it, this car never overheated, but I had an issue with it blowing out a bunch of white smoke out the exhaust. Bunch of it. And naturally, when you see white smoke coming out the engine, you would think, man, I blew the head gasket, because when it was happening, it was bogging down, kind of giving that blah, 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 kind of look to it, you know what I mean? Kicking out a bunch of white smoke. Once it cleared up after like 10 seconds, the car was fine, back at full power. I'm like, what's going on with it? So at the time, I was just like, all right, let me just put this aside. I got to make sure I can get to work. So your boy picked up the Prelude, okay, and the CRV. I finally came down to it. I was messing with the car, doing some research, doing some digging, and I also had an issue with disappearing brake fluid. As weird as it seems, disappearing brake fluid with no visible leaks, no puddles, nothing was leaking off the lines around the wheels, nothing. This is what I really wanted to show you guys, and this is in case you guys are seeing any symptoms like this on your car. Don't keep driving it until you check this out. Alright, so as we come down here, of course you're going to be able to see your master cylinder, your lines going out, connected to the master cylinder is connected to the brake booster. And then if you see this little plug right there, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a, see if I can get in here a little bit more. There we go. This is a vacuum line. Okay, this is a check valve and a vacuum line for the brake booster, and this line leads to the back of your intake manifold. Now, my issue was, I replaced this master cylinder about a year ago. Everything was fine for a few months. Then, what happened, and this is what I discovered, and this is what's leading up to the problem. The master cylinder is leaking fluid into the brake booster. This is a vacuum pump, like a giant vacuum pump. There shouldn't be any fluid in here, but it was leaking fluid into the brake booster. And what would happen is when all my fluid would disappear into the brake booster over time, it'd fill up, and while I'm driving, guess where this vacuum pump or vacuum line is doing? It's sucking out all the brake fluid that leaked into the booster directly into my intake manifold, straight through the engine, and kicking out the white smoke out the exhaust, giving you the illusion of a blown head or a blown head gasket. So what I did is I got a little $5 siphon pump from Walmart. I pulled off the check valve, you know, just pop it out. It'll re-vacuum seal itself once you turn the car on and it's plugged in. But I just popped it out, hooked the line into there, you know, and just a tube, put it in there, pulled it out, and sure enough, it was coming out wet, so that was telling me my brake fluid was in there. So what I did is I just took the siphon pump, had one end of the tube or the line inside the brake booster through the opening right there, where the check valve sits. And I just took off the top of this, the reservoir that the brake fluid sits in, and just kind of siphoned all the brake fluid out of the brake booster back into the reservoir. So I'm recycling it. Yay me, didn't have to buy more brake fluid. So anytime it's been filling up, I've kind of just been pulling it out and putting it back in here. Now, it's a good thing that I did not keep driving this. If I would have kept driving this, as it was doing that, over time, it's gonna damage your engine, and it's potentially gonna act as if you're gonna hydrolock your motor. So it's like you're just pouring brake fluid directly into your intake and saying, here you go, you thirsty little bitch. Excuse my language, but that's pretty much what was happening. But since I've drained it and siphoned it out, and I keep checking it, it's been working fine. There's been no issues with the car. I'm happy. It's back. So I do need to pull out the master cylinder. I do have lifetime warranty through O'Reilly's where I got it, and I'm gonna eventually just take it back, get another one, pop it in. Should fix my problem overall. So wanted to bring this video to you guys. So if you guys are seeing any symptoms like this on your Focus, mine's a 2001 ZX3, so it's the Mark 1. If you have any issues like that, it doesn't hurt to check it. You know what I mean? If you have disappearing brake fluid, see if it's going in your booster if you can't find a leak. And if your engine starts running rough and kicking out smoke, don't panic right away. Just kind of go through your search. Make sure you check all points. So everything's been good. I mean, I changed the oil, got fluid in there. It's not leaking anything. This engine doesn't reach over 200 degrees even in this hot summer. So it's been a good drive, a real good drive for me. And I apologize, I know that I mentioned on my Instagram that the video was gonna be up last week. But there was an issue going on with my memory card. It ended up corrupting, and I lost all my footage. It sucks, it happens. Luckily I have a backup, but been busy. Do apologize again, guys. So that's pretty much it. Disappearing brake fluid, disappearing, not a head problem. So it's back as my daily. We're gonna go ahead and start this up. I know you guys been wanting to hear this car for a while. All right, we got you plugged in. Cold start for the day, y'all. Cold start for the day. But it's back, no issues. I've been driving it. Got my AC. It's been great. Car's happy. I am gonna check my brake fluid. We're gonna make sure I have brake fluid in it. I'm a little low, so obviously it's going into the brake booster again a little bit, but not enough to actually cause any problems. So I'm just gonna top it off a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, guys. I'm gonna go roll over to my boy's house. He's got a barbecue going on, and your boy likes food. So other than that, the car is back on the road, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I know you guys have been waiting for an update on this car. It hasn't gone anywhere. I haven't gotten rid of it. It's still here. It's still kicking. I'm still driving it because Arizona's hot, boy. And this car has AC that works. Thanks again. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. If you like, yell in the comments to tell my car to stop beeping at me because I haven't drove anywhere yet today. And hit that like button if you like this video. Thanks again, y'all. I'm gonna end it here. Peace.